Back to the daily grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Holy flying flipping flapjacks, full-time family. Michael Bisping has been ordered to pay his ex-manager more than $400,000. Yo, it all makes sense now. That's the first thing I thought when I seen this. A lot of people wondered, why would Michael Bisping take that short notice fight with Kelvin Gastelum just 3 weeks to 4 weeks after losing his title and being knocked down and choked out by George St. Pierre at Madison Square Garden? I mean, we tried to reason and it was like, okay, maybe it's because he's just coming off of a fight camp, he's in shape, and it's an easy payday. We all know Michael, well, not an easy payday as far as the easy win. I'm just talking about he doesn't have to go through another full camp. He's already in shape, so it's kind of like you go in there, fight Kelvin Gastelum, and since we know Michael Bisping planned on retiring early 2018, in the middle of 2018, he can get one more fight, one more payday before he retires. But now we see maybe Michael Bisping, well, I'm assuming he knew something we didn't, because he's been ordered to pay $400,000. Now this is coming from a former manager, I guess, who Michael Bisping hired in 2005. I'll read the article real fast. All right, and also these guys got into a scuffle outside of the courthouse, but I mean, as I said, that's really not the biggest part of the story. I mean, this guy's suing Michael Bisping for $400,000. I mean, you could, and we all know Michael Bisping. He's a guy that might get into a scuffle. Whoa, that just reminded me, Michael Bisping, isn't he also going through maybe another lawsuit? You know, remember the 24-hour fitness? Michael Bisping put his hands, or was being sued. It came up around UFC 217 Madison Square Garden. Some guy from 24-hour fitness was suing Michael Bisping, 24-hour fitness, and I believe they added Dana White to the lawsuit for Michael Bisping maybe allegedly assaulting that guy at 24-hour fitness. Now, it didn't sound bad. It sounded like Michael Bisping might have just restrained him, didn't choke him out unconscious or anything, but still the guy was suing Bisping. Now that's a completely separate lawsuit from this lawsuit, but that's just what I thought of whenever Michael Bisping got into a scuffle outside of the courthouse. I mean, we've seen Michael Bisping almost get into scuffles with Eddie Bravo. Michael Bisping is one of these, you know, he's a guy that, he's a little edgy, he's a little testy. You say something to Michael Bisping outside of the motherfucking ring and he might give you what you're asking for. So it's now, add for a $400,000 lawsuit on top of that. Michael Bisping's probably got a little extra feelings for this guy, but this is one thing I'll say: the guy won the $400,000 lawsuit. That's a lot of money. I mean, if you remember, Michael Bisping on the MMA Hour before he fought George St. Pierre was like, you know, I've never had $1 million payday before. Now, luckily for him, he did main event Madison Square Garden versus George St. Pierre, one of the best cards I've ever seen. As far as I know a lot of people echo that sentiment, but I mean, remember, all three champions lost their belt that night: Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Rose Namajunas, and of course Michael Bisping, George St. Pierre. I mean, 3 title fights on that card. So lucky for Michael Bisping, he was just had that huge payday, but if not, this could have really affected Michael Bisping's life. And actually, like, now thinking about it, yeah, Michael Bisping should be able to pay this. It's still a huge chunk of change, but I just remembered Michael Bisping was in like that fucking XXX movie I still haven't watched. I just thought about that. I'm gonna have to watch that shit tonight, yo. I wanted to watch that. Michael Bisping was in a fucking XXX movie and I haven't watched it yet. What the fuck? All right, yeah, I completely got sidetracked, but yeah, Michael Bisping's been in movies. He's on Fox. He main evented Madison Square Garden. Michael Bisping should be able to cover this financially, but you still got to be a little worried when you take into consideration this is the second lawsuit in what, under 6 months that we know about with Michael Bisping. So I just hope Michael Bisping can be careful as far as these lawsuits and scuffles are concerned, because I mean, you know, stuff can pile up. You don't want to see Michael Bisping, who's got all of these opportunities. He's working for Fox now, getting starring roles in movies, about to retire after a very storied career, MMA veteran. And I mean, if lawsuits pile up and, you know, you get into some scuffles and let's say lose some opportunities, shit can get real bad real fast, and you definitely don't ever want to see that happen, especially to somebody, a fighter, you know, a professional fighter that's made it. I mean, as far as fighting is concerned, you can say Michael Bisping made it. He started off as a fucking cage fighter, fighting guys before the sport was even where it is today, before it was close. just getting in there and fighting, and he made it to, you know, a lot of, when you think about professional fighters, they don't all have happy endings, which is what you can consider for Michael Bisping. As I've already highlighted the things that he's just done in these last couple of years as far as the movies are concerned. Won a title, championship fight, didn't even expect to be in that title fight, got the fight, shocked the world, avenged his loss to Dan Henderson, arguably. George St. Pierre headline Madison Square Garden. Yo, Michael Bisping's doing his thug thizzle out here. Might be, you know, when you're first starting, you don't got much to lose. But I think Michael Bisping, it's fair to say, is at the point in his career where he's got something to lose. So I just hope that he's careful with these like scuffles outside of the octagon. I mean, if you want to keep fighting people, you might want to change your mind on retiring. I think Yoel Romero wants some smoke, and if you fight Yoel Romero, you don't have to worry about getting sued, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I've said enough. Michael Bisping has been ordered to pay $400,000 after getting into a scuffle with his former manager. And with that being said, let the fool tell you know what the fuck you time at in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.